to slam my fist down. I now call the East Lyme Zoning Commission special meeting of August 13, 2020 to order. It is 7:03 p.m. And just as a reminder, I think we all know it, this meeting is being held via video conference on Zoom. Just do a quick roll call. I want to be able to identify the commissioners who are present. Are there any interested third parties who are present at this point, Jen, or there are not?
I think no.
No, okay.
Other than Roseanne, everybody, I've got Mary Beckert from the day is here as well.
Okay.
And Mary Ann Salvatore will be here shortly.
Okay. So let me identify who's here. I know that Terry Donovan is here, Commission Member Terry Donovan, Commission Member Bill Dwyer, Commission Member Kim Kalajanin. I probably blew that last name.
That's all right, I'm here.
Was that pretty good? Commission Member Norm Peck. And we also have alternate George McPherson is here tonight. And of course, myself, Chairman Matt Walker. And we have staff on hand also. Mr. Mulholland is here, although I don't know if we've seen an actual picture of him. We know that he can hear us. Roseanne Hardy, our ex officio, is here. And, oh, there's Denise.
Alternate.
Denise Markovitz, our alternate, is here.
Mr. Chairman, Ann Thurlow is here also.
And yep. Ann Thurlow is here also. It might have been easier to say who's not here. Mr. Liska.
Right.
I think that was it.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Liska is the only one missing.
That's right.
If you go to your grid view, if you go to your grid view, you can see everybody.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is this being recorded?
Yes.
This is being recorded, yes.
Okay, good.
All right, so for regular members then, I'm just going to go through my little roster here. Terry's here, Mr. Dwyer's here, Kim is here, Norm is here, and I'm here. And Ann is here. Is that what Ann is here? I never did see Ann, okay. So we have a full commission, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a full commission, excellent. Just want to remind everybody of the following, that while unmuted, we can hear you and everything going on around you. We can also see you. Board members and staff will be unmuted during this entire meeting. As required by executive order, everyone must state their name and where they are from prior to speaking each time they speak. So please remember to do that. During public delegations, Jen will open lines for comment. Please wait to be called on to speak. Once you have finished speaking, please mute your microphone or your phone. During each agenda item, only the board, staff, and presenters will be unmuted to speak on their particular item. Let me see here. A few more of our rules and protocols. Only one person may speak at a time. I think I already said that. If you wish to speak at any point during the meeting, please raise your hand and wait to be called upon. Board members will be called upon to provide comment via roll call. Members and alternates, for all motions, in the interest of making sure we have a clear record, please plan on roll call cast votes so the public and Brooke taking minutes. Is Brooke taking minutes?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Can be very clear on the record. Also, only hosts are permitted to share screens at this time. Any documents to be shared must come through Jen at jlindo@eltownhall.com. And as required by executive order, all documents being discussed and reviewed at the meeting must be posted on the town website no later than 24 hours prior to the meeting. And once again, the entire meeting is being automatically recorded by Zoom. And upon the host logging out, the meeting will cease, and so will the recording. The meeting cannot continue without the host. So with that, we'll move right on to public delegations. Public delegations is time set aside for the members of the public to address the commission regarding items, topics, subjects that do not appear on the agenda. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to address the commission regarding items, topics, subjects not appearing on tonight's agenda? And I think, Jen, you said there isn't anybody here. Is that correct?
I do have Mary Ann Salvatore is here from planning.
Okay.
Mary Beckert is here, and
From the
Roseanne
day.
Hardy is here. Yep, Roseanne Hardy
good.
is here as your ex officio, and
Okay.
Attorney Heller has just logged in as well. Hi, Attorney Heller.
Very good.
I think we're good.
All right. And so we'll move right on. There is no public comment, no public delegations tonight. No one interested in speaking. Moving on to the public hearing segment. I'm going to open all 13 of these public hearings together. I'm just going to read through these. It's going to be a little cumbersome, but we'll get through it. The first one is the application of Steve Carpentieri for Niantic Bay Inn Incorporated, aka Lyme Tavern, for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 229 West Main Street, Niantic. Second one is an application of Julie Smart for Smarties for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 215 Main Street, Niantic. 3 is the application of Steve Turner for Lillian's for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 374 Main Street, Niantic. Number 4 is the application of Eduardo Martone for Costello's for a special permit for outdoor dining at 11 East Patagonia Road, Niantic. Number 5 is the application of Nejla Auguste for Niantic Pizza for a renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 53 West Main Street, Niantic. Number 6 is the application of Lionheart Tavern for a renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 267 to 283 Main Street, aka 13 Hope Street, Niantic. Number 7 is the application of Timothy O'Reilly's, owner, East Lyme Cafe, LLC, DBA Smokey O'Grady's, for a renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 306 Flanders Road, Niantic. Number 8 is the application of Leo Roach for Strive LLC for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 247-2 Main Street, Niantic. Number 9 is the application of Harry and Tryphonis Loginitis, DBA Family Pizza, for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at property identified in the application as 233 Main Street, Niantic. Number 10 is the application of Costas Anastasio for Niantic Diner for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 26 West Main Street, Niantic. Number 11 is the application of Teddy Ignatitis for Main Street Grill for renewal of a special permit for his outdoor dining at 252 Main Street, Niantic. And 12 is the application of Eugen Emini for Black Point Pizza for a renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 44 Black Point Road, Niantic. Number 13, and finally, is the application of Petrit Marcoux for Il Pomodoro for a special permit for outdoor dining at 360 Boston Post Road, Niantic. And with that, I'll state that the zoning official. I'm sorry. Go ahead, George.
Last one is East Lyme.
I'm sorry.
Number 13 is East Lyme, not Niantic.
Did I say Niantic?
Yes, you
after
did.
Pomodoro? My apologies. It actually says East Lyme, and I should have read East Lyme, and I said Niantic. My apologies. Pomodoro is in East Lyme. Thank you, George. I'll note that the zoning official has no issues with any of the renewals. We're going to talk shortly here. I'll note that the legal ad has been run for the record. I mean, here we are. It's August. What's today? August 13th. We're 2/3 of the way, if not more, through the summer. And obviously, due to the very, very incredible circumstances, we're here doing these renewals on August 13th. Who would have thunk? We have a letter regarding 26 West Main Street that we need to read into the record. Is that correct, Mr. Mulholland?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I want to read that, Matt.
That would be great. Terry, that'd be awesome.
Okay, dated August 6, 2020, to Mr. Mulholland, Town of East Lyme zoning official, regarding the application of Costas Anastasio for the renewal of outdoor dining special permit at 26 West Main Street, Niantic. Mr. Mulholland, I am an abutting property owner at 32 West Main Street and provide a right-of-way to a parking lot at 30 West Main Street, on which the applicant uses for excess restaurant parking. Since 30 West Main Street parking lot was built, there has been periodic abuse of the surrounding property, including 34 West Main. Confirming that the restaurant already does not have enough parking, the abuses include as follows. Number 1, taking shortcuts over our grass. 2, parking on our grass. 3, entering into the parking area when it is, quote, exit only, end quote, in accordance with the site plan approval. And 4, damage to our landscaping, in parentheses, grass and stone. This encroachment is so bad sometimes that our neighbor at 34 West Main cannot get out of her driveway as vehicles are parked on the pavement and grass. It is apparent that added seating with no extra parking would make the situation worse. We feel it is not appropriate. We have mentioned this to you over the course of the last 3 years, along with photos as attached, which everyone should have received those photos in an email from Jen. This testimony for the upcoming public hearing. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Patricia Avery, 32 West Main Street, Niantic.
Thank you, Mr. Donovan. And discussion by the commission, and, you know, obviously we took all 13 together. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak specifically about any of these particular applications or the applications in general? Again, it's August 13th. We're 2/3 or more through the summer at this point, under some very unusual circumstances.
Matt, Norm is asking to speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Norm.
I have to recuse myself from the Niantic Diner application for the record.
Understand. Very good. So what we then should probably do is, Mr. Mulholland, we should probably take that separate from the rest. Oh, I can't hear him. Can anybody else hear him?
No.
No.
Well, no.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. We're having trouble with my audio on my computer.
Okay.
It's been an ongoing situation. I've sent a couple letters. I've talked to them. It's concerns the property next door.
Mr. Mulholland,
Terry,
that's not what he asked you. He asked you if we should do them separately.
and I said, in my opinion, you don't need to do them all separately. You might want to take this one separately.
Take this one separately, right. That's would stand to reason, I think, to take this one separately. Did you
I
want to
agree
finish
with
in
that.
talking about this particular situation, Mr. Mulholland? Let's let commission members, I want commission members to weigh in on this and on any other renewals that might be on their mind. Mr. Donovan, excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend, seeing that Mr. Peck has to recuse himself from number 10 on the
Right.
applications, that we proceed with the vote for 1 through 9 and 11 through 13 if all the other commission members have no issues.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes perfect
Okay.
sense. Makes
Does
perfect
anybody
sense.
else have any issues with 1 through 9 or 11 through 13?
No. No issues.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, then, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion.
Before you do, I'd like to interject here. What about the 10 at number 4?
Number 4.
Excuse me, can alternates speak if they're not seated? No offense, George.
Technically, no.
No.
But I think I know what he's getting at. Maybe that's something we can address during the meeting. Mr. Donovan, Mr. Mulholland, maybe Mr. Mulholland can enlighten folks on this. Go ahead.
Up without permission, as you may know, the governor issued an order called 7MM, and it allowed people to do certain things without our local zoning. The tent was put up without permission. We are proceeding with an action to ensure that tent is removed. It's outside
Better, maybe, no? I don't know.
the rules. And so that's
He's not coming in clear.
Can you turn your volume up, Bill?
how's that? Any better?
It's the microphone. He needs to sit closer to the microphone.
So
We can hear you. It's just a little faint. It's a little faint.
So my office is taking an action to have it removed. It does not comply with the governor's orders or your rules on any plane. So we were going to send a letter and have that removed. It's outside the purview of what he should be doing. So that's more of an action by my office. I don't know that, it's up to the commission, but I don't know that we're trying to renew the existing outdoor dining. He's got an outdoor patio.
Right.
Tent is more of an enforcement action than it is. I think you need to look at the issue of this is for his outdoor dining. My side of it's an enforcement action on the tent. We can go back to umbrellas.
Right.
Were you all able to hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the canopy is the issue, for lack of a better word. Is that the right word? The canopy that he put over his outdoor seating, his outdoor dining?
Call it a tent.
A tent, okay. Okay. it doesn't look bad, but the point is, there's no basis, he has no authority or he hasn't had the town's blessing to put that tent over his outdoor dining, right? That's where we're at. Okay. All right, so that becomes an enforcement issue then for Mr. Mulholland, I think. Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yes. The way I see it, because that was part of the state mandate, so it's
Right.
separate from this outdoor dining permit, seeing that he already
Right.
has a patio. So that is, like Mr. Mulholland said, part of his office.
Yeah. I mean, restaurants are feeling such a strain right now. I just feel a certain reluctance to give any restaurant a hard time, because we're very business oriented and we're pro-business. At the same time, we have to have an even hand too. And we have to understand that, other restaurants could erect tents of this type of nature or larger tents. And then, then we're in a pickle, right? So that's a tough one for me, again, just because of the times we're in right now and because I'm worried. I'll be quite frank, I'll say it on the record, I'm worried about the viability of maybe some of our restaurants in Niantic and what Niantic's going to look like in November, December, March of next year. I don't want to go beyond saying any more than that, but I'm concerned. It's taken a long time to reach this level in town that we have so many options for restaurants and foot traffic, and it's become so vibrant, particularly in the summertime. It concerns me to do anything that involves regulations that would make their lives any more difficult than they've already been. But that's me just speaking sort of extemporaneously off the cuff. I don't know how others feel, but it is an enforcement issue. Mr. Mulholland, if you want to chime in.
I will, Mr. Chairman. It's going to take probably about, I have to send legal correspondence, so that's going to take 8 to 15 days from now.
Right.
Which is essentially the end of the summer. It's been up for quite some time. We have had a relatively light hand with the outdoor dining, et cetera.
Right.
But at some point, we need to recognize that there needs to be some compliance. And some folks are doing better than others, as you have noticed. And hopefully everybody will come out of this on the restaurant side. So essentially that gets it to almost the end of the summer. And if we have some back and forth in terms of correspondence, that could be a few days more.
Matt,
Appreciate that.
Norm would like to speak.
Go ahead, Norm.
What do you think about giving them a little while? Send out your letter, Bill, but maybe October 1st or something like that.
I will.
Give them a break.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
A 30-day reprieve or something.
Yeah. Terry, you wanted to speak?
Well, yeah, I see Mr. Mulholland's got his hand up too. I think right now we're going off base here.
Yeah.
Which is what you guys are talking about now, which is something I was going to bring up after when we do the vote on these pending applications.
Right.
Right now, what we're talking about is the state variance, as you may call it, to allow the outdoor dining.
No question.
To those who are on this application and to others who are not, which I would like to bring up after our vote on these applications.
Okay. Fair enough.
Good point.
Fair enough. So let's take these. Any further comment on the 12, eliminating and taking the application for Niantic Diner singularly afterwards? Any further comment on any of the 12 that are before us
No.
from commission members? Are there any public comments for or against any of these outdoor dining renewals? Are there any members of the public that wish to speak either for or against these outdoor dining renewal applications? All right, seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing in regards to the 12 that Terry had cited, and again, singling out the Niantic Diner, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Take a motion.
So
Do we have a
moved.
second? Second for Mr. Donovan. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So taking the application of Costas Anastasio for Niantic Diner for his renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 26 West Main Street, Niantic. taking that one singularly, let's open that up to comment from commission members. Would anyone like to speak? And in particular, in regards to a letter, essentially a complaint by a neighbor. And, so the question is to our commission, to all of us, what are we going to do about it? Is this an enforcement issue, or is this an issue that we as a commission, should be weighing in on? Feel free to chime in, anybody.
Is there any way to put no parking signs along there, or what could we do to help enforce that?
Right. And that might be a good question directed to Mr. Mulholland from an enforcement standpoint, signage. Mr. Mulholland?
Obviously going to have to write another letter to these folks, but I do want to point out on the outdoor dining piece, he never did build his deck. He keeps renewing his application, but he does.
That's right.
Deck. Currently, he has some outdoor dining in his parking area under the Governor's Order 7MM. That is due to expire on September 1st. There are discussions at the state level and with the Governor's office about extending that. I have not heard back, but I'm aware they are having those discussions. So that's yet to be determined. So I'll just throw that into the mix. I have discussed this with the owner previously. I have sent him letters. There have been other issues that have arisen over the last few years. We had an issue with a rock that ended up a pink rock.
Right.
Closer to the mic, Bill.
Yeah.
We're aware of that as well, Mr. Chairman.
So the governor's order, which allowed him, to move his outdoor dining out into the parking lot, essentially eliminated a certain portion of his parking. I wouldn't venture to guess how many spaces or how much parking. Maybe you could enlighten us on that, Bill. How many spaces did he lose approximately with that, with the outdoor dining?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but the governor's order essentially said, we don't care about parking. We want these people to stay into.
Right.
On a sidebar, I was in West Hartford over the weekend, and their restaurants are out in the middle of the streets. The roadways are almost down to one way in some areas. And so there's been a lot of accommodation because of the pandemic. But I will also note that this is an ongoing issue, and so I'll have to jump back.
Right. We got to be able to strike a balance from an enforcement issue. I guess that's just my quick thought. I mean, I feel bad for the homeowner. I mean, that shouldn't be happening. There's no question. At the same time, we understand the restaurant owners apostrophe plight, throughout town, and this owner in particular having to move his outdoor dining, which now occupies a good segment of his parking lot. So it's again, unusual circumstances, unusual times, but that doesn't diminish the complaint or the feelings of the neighbor. And I haven't gone and taken a look or inspected, any damages, perhaps any landscaping or whatever the case might be. But there's got to be a way to strike a balance here from an enforcement issue. And I have full confidence that you, Bill, can, again, find that balance somehow between the parties if that's possible.
Excuse me.
Mr. Dwyer, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's no balance. Private property is private property. You put up
Right,
cement blocks or whatever. There's no
I
question.
agree. I can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. People shouldn't be infringing on private property. I agree 100%.
Bottom line.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, please. I've had my hand up for a while.
Ann had her hand up first. Just want to hear from Ann. Go ahead, Ann.
Oh,
Mine's been up for a while.
Oh, Terry, you can go first. I don't care. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Terry.
I've been going in and out because I don't know if all the commission members know this, but that building houses another business as well. It does hold a recovery center. Now, yes, this has been an ongoing thing here, but if you do drive by this establishment, there is a sign on his sign that says extra parking, actually right below it, extra parking at the doctor's office. Now, the question is this parking from the restaurant or is it from the recovery center? So that's a good question to find out, like, when were these pictures taken? Were they taken during a class time or a session? Or, maybe a suggestion could be made to the owner of the recovery business to maybe small in their classes to only allow, to allow such vehicles to be parked on said property versus the lawn. I highly doubt, as you know, I do frequent that establishment when they were open. I have never seen anybody park in that parking lot myself. I
Right.
have only seen the parking lot full, and that includes what he has now for the temporary outdoor dining. You know, during the day, maybe the owner will park there in the back there when the recovery is not open.
Right.
That would be, when were these photographs taken? So,
So we got a couple other moving parts here.
you do.
Okay.
I mean, and that's something you need to take
Potentially.
into consideration. Nothing against the property owners, what it may be, but I think it's more so on the recovery business than it is the restaurant. Because if the restaurant overflow parking had to go into that spot there,
Yeah.
he would have been at capacity, you know, and in this time that we're going through now, indoor dining was just allowed, what, a couple weeks ago, I believe, right? Maybe a month ago.
Mhm.
And so I have yet to see his parking lot full, to be honest with you. So
Right.
I drive by there every day going to the lumber yard for my job, and I have never seen that happen. Now, I don't go there after 5, so I don't know when
Yeah.
these, I would imagine these recovery classes are at night. So I
Yeah.
think that, you know, we have to take that into consideration.
I've eaten dinner there with my wife after 5, 6:30, and the parking lot was actually very full. But that was on a Friday night. And you've been patient again. I'm sorry. I think Kim had her hand up actually before you, Ann. Kim's been very patient. No? No? I thought you had your hand up. Ann.
The parking lot at the recovery, I think there's an entrance and an exit. I didn't know
Right.
if you could put block the exit goes out on that road they're talking about. I didn't know if there was a way to just not use that exit at some times of the day. I don't know.
I feel a little negligent because I haven't taken a really close look and didn't know of this situation, to be quite frank, till late this afternoon. So I'm not as familiar with the properties and what needs to happen here. I'm pretty sure Mr. Mulholland probably has some ideas already about how to at least attempt to resolve this or work through this issue. Bill?
I think it's probably going to be best that I meet with the property owner and have a little walkabout and point some things out. And then, if necessary, I can issue orders. But I prefer to go out and meet with him and have a discussion first. I think it's the right thing to do. And
Right.
always issue orders and have a heavy hand if necessary. So that's my intent. We'll start addressing this in the morning and try to set up an appointment and move it forward.
Very good. Any further comment from anyone on the commission? No? And I just want to say that we take any, neighborly complaint like this seriously. It needs to be looked at. It will be looked at by Mr. Mulholland. I have full faith and confidence in him. Let's hopefully we can get to the bottom of this and find a resolution that makes sense. Property shouldn't be damaged. Private property should not be getting damaged, whether it's landscaping, bushes, tire marks on grass. That just should not be happening. And I'm sure Mr. Mulholland will do everything he can to alleviate that, or at least to the best of his ability, and to be continued, I think, on this issue, at least for right now. Mr.
Chairman,
Donovan.
if I may. Now, this right-of-way provided is also used by the town of East Lyme. And, recently they've had many issues with that pump house in the back there. So
Okay.
you have, now I'm not saying that the damage was done from the patrons of the recovery or the patrons of the restaurant, but, they've had many big trucks back there, sewage trucks.
Right.
Because they've had, in the past year, they've had, I think, 2 scenarios to where they were in and out of there all day long in these pump trucks as early as last week with the power outages. So the question is that, again, it needs to be looked into further. Is that damage done from the town vehicles or their town hired subcontractors?
Right.
Or the vehicles that were using the parking there during the recovery? So.
Right. Okay. We need video footage.
There's a lot to look into. Yeah.
Somebody's got to, with the number of cameras everywhere, there's got to be a camera on the corner of our building somewhere.
Yeah, right.
All right. Any public comment for or against this one item, this one line item, if you will, the application of Costas Anastasio for Niantic Diner for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 26 West Main Street, Niantic. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close that public hearing.
So moved.
So moved.
So moved. And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and moving on to the regular meeting. And we'll follow the same format. We'll take the 12 and take the last, or I think we could take all 13. Have we flushed that issue out enough? Do we need to take that singularly, do you think, or can we take them all together?
I'm fine with the all 13.
All together.
Yeah, I think we've decided
I'd like that
this is an
singular.
enforcement issue. Go ahead, Mr. Dwyer.
I'd prefer that to be singular.
You prefer it to be singular?
Is your intent right now to either approve or disapprove all of them,
Yes,
including this problem?
yes.
How can you approve it when you have a
You know
problem?
what? I actually like the way you're thinking. I was going to do that. Let's take it singularly since there was issue. There was a greater discussion about that than the other 12 combined. So let's take it separate. All right. I don't think I have to read all these again, do I, Jen? I will. Should I? No need.
No.
All right. All right. So moving on to the regular meeting component, and we are going to be taking items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 13. 10 would be the one item that we are not discussing in the regular meeting. And at this point, if there isn't any further, is there any further discussion on those 12? If there's not, I'll take a motion to approve those 12 outdoor dining renewals.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Did you oppose, Bill? No.
No,
You just put your hand up late. All right. Abstentions? No. 6-0-0, the vote carries.
Good.
Congratulations to all our restaurants who've been doing outdoor dining for the whole summer, and now they've got their official renewal, so. And then taking the last one now, which is the application of Costas Anastasio. I'll say it one last time for Niantic Diner for renewal of a special permit for outdoor dining at 26 West Main Street, Niantic. Taking that all by itself. I'll take a motion unless someone wishes to make some final comments or has some final suggestions or concerns they want to share with the commission and or Mr. Mulholland. Mr. Dwyer.
Can we do this delay it until the next meeting until we have more input? Neither for nor against right now.
Already closed the public hearing.
How do others feel about that? I think we can vote on this, and I think we can leave it to Mr. Mulholland, to his
Chairman,
even-handed
if I may.
justice to resolve this. Mr. Donovan?
The way I see it, okay, the applicant has applied several years, has yet to use it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. Well, that's true.
So the fact of the matter is, even if we deny it, when he does go to, say, build his outdoor dining patio or deck or whatever it may be,
Right.
he's got to apply.
Right.
And so I think it is the commission's best interest to approve this for now.
Yeah.
Let Mr. Mulholland speak with the homeowner about the issues of said property, because he doesn't have outdoor dining now anyway, other
Right.
than the 7 mm from the state right now.
Right.
So I see no issues with approving this application for now.
Yeah, right.
I really don't.
Hey, we could deny it in his current situation, his current dining per the governor's order is exempt, right? That's basically what you just said.
That is correct, yeah.
Mr. Dwyer, go ahead.
My thought behind it is to protect the homeowner.
Right.
Once you approve it, he has no more protection. That's my theory behind it.
Okay. All right.
But this technically, in my eyes, has nothing to do with the business. It's more so the recovery.
Right.
Let Mr. Mulholland
Right.
look into this. Not going to use it this year anyway. And if it does become a further issue with said property, next year when it arises, we deny it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
This is more of a neighborly dispute, and that's not, again, it's not to diminish what the neighbor feels, but I don't know that this should impact And it wouldn't, because as he
No.
has his outdoor dining set up now per the governor's order, it would be exempt. But let's just suppose that he did have a deck in the back and he did have outdoor dining for the moment, just as a hypothetical. You know, how could we really, in good conscience, he hasn't done anything with respect to his business or his outdoor dining. There hasn't been a noise disturbance. There haven't been any disturbances that are of the issue here. This is about a parking issue. This is about tire marks on grass. Again, not to diminish that, but I don't think that would be reason to deny it. I think Mr. Mulholland, this is something that is within his purview. He can take care of this. That's my
Agreed.
thought. Okay. So I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Is that a motion to approve? Is that a motion to approve?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yep.
We have a second?
Second.
Second, Kim. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, Mr. Dwyer. Abstentions? Okay, 5-1-1. Did we seat an alternate for that? We didn't. I don't think we did,
No.
technically.
George, how
Who
do
was
you
due to
feel?
sit?
Who was due to sit? Sorry.
Fine with
Mr.
it. I just-
Liska, and then
one
Denise,
point of
and then
clarification, if you
I'm
don't
showing
mind.
Denise Markovitz was due to sit. Is
All right.
Denise still with us?
Yes, she is.
What's Denise's
Yes, I
vote?
Approve. Yeah.
Approve, okay. All right, so 5-1-0. All right? Very good.
Matt, can I ask a point of clarification?
Sure.
These outdoor dining permits, are they going to run out in normal time next spring or a year from today?
The same time schedule that they've always been on. Unless
I think
Mr. Mulholland's shaking his head yes, so I guess that's right.
Okay, good. Just wanted to know.
Yep, we're just doing it 4 months late for obvious reasons, so.
Right.
All right, moving on to the meeting minutes of March 5th, 2020, if anybody can even begin to remember what was in there.
Did you read them like Jen asked you to, Mr.
I did.
Chairman?
I did. But how many people did? Okay.
Just
Couple
3 of you?
dedicated commission members, just 3 of us.
Everybody ran it.
Can we even vote on this then? Can we vote on it?
You can do whatever you like.
All right, we can do whatever we like. I didn't see anything. Did you see anything, Mr. Donovan, that needed to be addressed?
I was not there, so I have to abstain from the vote.
Oh, you weren't there. Okay.
So
Very
I
good.
missed you all, guys.
So I believe I was there and I read the minutes and I found nothing wrong with them. So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from, thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Kim. And Ann just seconded. All those in favor of approving the minutes from March
Aye.
5th, 2020, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? How many ayes did we have? Everybody raise their hands that was there at the meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the meeting? Okay. So we had 4
think-
affirmative
Wait,
votes.
was Denise raised her hand? That was-
Denise raised her hand. I'm sorry.
I was at the
5.
meeting. I think I sat for part of it.
Okay, there were 5 of us then. Okay,
I
very
can
good.
hardly remember.
The
Very
whole
good.
world-
Moving on to old business. We don't have any old business. New business, we got a bunch. Just going to read through these. Item number 1 is the request of Carol York, owner, for a waiver of section 20.8 of the East Lyme zoning regulations ownership requirement for access to a proposed subdivision lot at 92 Old Black Point Road. And we're going to schedule that for September 3rd, 2020. Is that correct, Mr. Mulholland?
That's correct, that's correct, Mr.
Very good. Item number 2 is the application of Keith Nielsen, PE Daco Incorporated, agent for Mr. Vincent Dowling, for a coastal area management review for new platform, stairs, and landing at 295 Old Black Point Road, Niantic, Connecticut. That's also going to be scheduled for September 3rd, 2020. Thank you, Mr. Mulholland. Then we have the application of Landmark Development Group, LLC, and Jarvis of Cheshire, LLC, care of Timothy Hollister, Shipman and Goodwin, LLP, for a text amendment revision of section 32 to replace a preliminary site plan, final site plan with quote-unquote master plan procedure as used in gateway development. And we're going to schedule that for October 1st, 2020 public hearing. Is that correct, Mr. Mulholland? Thank you. Then item number 4 is the application of Paz and Construction LLC for site plan approval for an 80-unit multifamily set-aside affordable housing development submitted pursuant to the provisions of Section 830G of the Connecticut General Statutes at property identified in the application as North Rydebrook Road, East Lyme Assessors Map 9, Lot 37-2. And we're going to push that out. That's going to be scheduled for October 15th, 2020 public hearing. Do we have that right? Yes.
Matt, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. I just want to note that Attorney Heller is here, and he is the applicant with Paz for that application.
Okay.
Attorney Heller, did you need to add anything? I just want to make sure that we gave you an opportunity to say anything if you needed to.
Thanks,
No,
Jen.
I was just listening in to see when we were scheduled. I'm
Okay.
fine. Appreciate the commission's consideration.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Item number 5 is the application of Kristen T. Clark, PE, for site plan approval of a 32-unit age-restricted affordable housing project submitted pursuant to the provisions of 830G of the Connecticut General Statutes at property identified in the application as 237 Upper Patagonia Road, East Lyme Assessors Map 39.0, Lot 10-2. And we're going to sandwich that in between, scheduled for September 17th, 2020 public hearing. Very good. And with that, Mr. Donovan, did you have something? You must be muted. I can't hear you. I don't know if anybody else can.
No.
No,
Oh, did you lose your audio, Terry? Because I can't hear you either.
Mm-mm.
Nope, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Donovan, come on. Went out when Heller come on.
Do sign language. We can't hear you. He's still talking.
Just-
He's still going.
Nope.
Oh, he totally dropped his mic.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
This might be my favorite part of listening to Terry.
Oh,
Little dig.
oh, that's funny.
Oh, what do we
No,
now?
we cannot hear you.
We didn't hear him, so we're just going to move on. He's still talking. He's still talking.
Look at Norm. Look at Norm. That's hysterical.
It's like a mirror.
It is.
I don't know how to write backwards. You gotta stop this guy.
I mean, he can see us, right? I'm telling him that we can't hear you, Terry. We can't. Does he know we can't hear you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
he
he
does.
knows.
Yeah.
Okay. Thumbs up.
Tell Terry to use the chat function. Maybe he could.
Yeah, you can use the chat function, Terry, if you want to.
Oh, he just sent a note.
Hey,
You know,
the chat
good.
function is recorded, so be careful.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful. Be
It
careful.
didn't get cut out 10 minutes ago.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on, and whatever thought Terry had, I'm gonna ask him. I'll text him after the meeting and tell him to save it for the next meeting. All right. Any business on the floor? If anybody. in the
Wednesday,
majority vote of the
Thursday,
commission-
Friday? What was the
Wednesday,
question, Terry?
that's the definition.
Do any commission members have anything that they want to bring up? Any issues by the majority vote of the commission? I know
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Mulholland has one. He's holding up a prop.
Look, you can see it, that's Dollar
We're
General.
going to move on to the zoning official. He's chomping at the bit to tell us about Dollar General.
That is what it will look like when it's done. I'm hearing a lot of, oh my goodness, what's going on? So
Right,
everybody will like it, I think. So just for
right.
travels, there it is.
it's the
Yeah, once I
classiest Dollar General ever.
Yes.
Terry. Hey, I think we're on right now. So here we are talking on the phone in the middle of a meeting. What were you going to say? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll relay for you. Go ahead. Okay.
Scheduled to end September 1st.
Now we can hear you.
He's
We can hear
back.
you now.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's
Go
weird.
ahead.
I didn't do that. What I was just telling the chairman was my comments regarding the outdoor dining to businesses that are currently using the 7mm, such as Iliano's, the Lyme Tavern still has it, the tent at Costello's, Village Cafe. I mean, there's many businesses in town, the Nyack Public House, the Spice Club, the Village Bakehouse. There's many people that are taking advantage of the 7mm. So my question to the commission, if the state does not extend this temporary order, can we and will we extend it to the town businesses if they choose to do so? That is my question to the commission members. I personally think it would be a great idea, because I know like a lot of people, being consumers, are still afraid of going inside businesses. Yes, they are allowed to go inside at, I believe, at half the capacity. So it'll benefit the consumers and the businesses if the state does not extend it, which I believe there's talk for the state of it extending it. So will we, as a commission, be willing to extend it if the state does not? That is my question.
I think it's an exceptional point. I think it's an exceptional point. At the same time, I think it's something that's just to be determined. You know, it's such a fluid situation, everything. We don't know where any of this stuff is going. You know, how soon we're going to have a vaccine, when we're going to be out of the woods on this thing. Mr. Mulholland, go ahead.
I'll just note I've been in discussions with our state rep who is talking to governor's office, and they're examining this issue very closely. It's recognized that it may be problematic, and I would suspect and expect an extension to the 7mm order. What it'll be, I don't know yet, but it is being looked at very closely. I've talked a couple of times with our state rep. They've been picking my brain about an extension, and so I think we shall see something. To Terry's point, we would have to do a text amendment to our zoning regulations. That takes me 30, 40 days, so I think, we really all our eggs in the basket of the governor's order, and hopefully he will do all the right things.
Yeah. And I even think, you know, back to what I just said about the vaccine or no vaccine, there's still going to be a segment of the population that's going to have a lot of trepidation about eating out, going inside a restaurant. And so your point is extremely well taken. I think I see a lot of people shaking their heads in agreement. So I think it's a great point, Terry.
Mr. Mulholland, in reference to the text amendment, is there a way that the commission could, say, propose an emergency temporary order without changing the text amendment until a final decision is made?
We don't have that authority to make those kind of efforts. However, I think there might be something in our toolbox. Let me touch base with our legal team. I suspect if we anticipate something, we might be able to propose something early and put it in our regulations. And if we start now, it may be ready in time. So let me think on that, talk to our council, and I'll report back.
I would love to do it as soon as possible so that we don't have them sitting idle for 30 days or whatever it may be. So if the legal team does approve or say that we can do such a thing, if we have to hold a special meeting, just for saying if it does not pass the state level, to where these businesses will be shut down for a small period of time, if need be.
Right. Mr. Dwyer?
I agree. We need a legal opinion on that question.
No question. No question. I'm sure, and we'll get one. We'll definitely get one. Bill, last word?
Fill up with the zoning official report. So very briefly, we're now issuing COs to the Gateway for their 120 units. I think we're COing about 30. If you haven't been up there, you can drive through. It's come out pretty well, I think. The rents are $3,300 a month for some. So if you want, take a look. In addition, we've issued permits for the Rocky Neck Village Affordable Housing for construction purposes. So that went out, I think, yesterday. So there's a lot of activity, and we're extremely busy. I have nothing further, Mr. Chairman.
It is absolutely gorgeous up there. I took a ride up there today. It's absolutely gorgeous, but wow, that's high rent. That's our high rent district. We have a high rent district now.
Mr. Chairman,
wow.
did you go up the emergency access road to get there?
I did not go the emergency access road to get there.
Can I ask Mr. Mulholland just a couple questions?
Go ahead, Ann.
Oh, I was just curious. I was looking at Guy's new building today, Can you refresh our memories, like where they're putting trees between the street and the building? Are they up closer to the building, hopefully?
Made some, if I may, Mr. Chairman, we've made some adjustments. That's phase one. There's an additional addition on the front of the building that will be phase two.
Okay.
They are working on their site plan. I have that I would not issue a CO until they have all their landscaping in and that the site is stable enough. So that this is a work in progress. They slowed down in their activity. Need to monitor that. In addition, one other item on Liberty Way, the self-storage units are closing in on finishing up and they're coming together. The buildings are not done. There's some more additional trim work going on them, but that's going to be done soon as well. And then you noted Dollar General is moving along. That is not what it's going to look like. The picture is, so anybody that's spreading it, it will come together.
My other question was, what's going on with Dunkin' Donuts on Main Street?
They closed, plain and simple. They closed.
Bye-bye.
Mom, shut
No.
down.
Wow.
No drive-through. No drive-through.
None.
Is a Mitchell property. It's a Mitchell property. I've spoken to George a couple of times, and he says he has a couple of people that are interested. I also think American Eagles, that one's not going to come back.
Which one?
One in the parking lot behind the theater.
Mm.
So there's some shuffling going on Main Street, and we
Right. I'd love to see Friendlies come back. I know that'll never happen, but I love Friendlies. To this day, I love Friendlies. You know, a burger and a shake, you know, you can't go wrong.
Fribble.
Huh?
A
Fribble. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Comments from our ex officio?
Roseanne, did you have anything you wanted to add? She did tell me she wasn't going to give a report, but are you there?
Okay. She did tell
She's
you that ahead of
muted.
time? Okay.
Yeah, she said she didn't have anything.
All right. Okay.
Hear me?
Very good.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you, Roseanne. Oh, you're muted again.
Roseanne?
There you go. You were almost there.
Nope.
I hear something.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep,
Can you
there
hear
we
me
go.
now?
All
We can
right.
hear you now.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm going to give you a break tonight. Thanks for the entertainment. I rated a G.
Gee. We like
Except for Terry.
we like our G-rated reputation at the zoning commission meetings. We're happy with that.
Yep.
Roseanne has nothing, so we are going to move right on along to comments from zoning board liaison to planning commission. Terry, what can you tell us about the
That
August
I did
4th
not
meeting?
attend.
There wasn't one.
I know there was one. I did not know about it until I read about it, so I apologize for not zooming in.
There was one?
I
There was
apologize.
one?
I believe they had one since, yes.
All right.
Yep.
Kim is scheduled for September 1st. If you can't make it for some reason, maybe shoot me an email, let somebody know, and we'll get somebody. And I would just,
Yeah, perfect. I don't have anything going on, so
You don't
who misses meetings right now? There's nothing to do.
yeah, right. But I'm extending that to everybody.
Those of
going
us who
forward.
didn't
I
know
think
you had to go.
As a commission, though, we got to do a better effort, and I'm probably the biggest perpetrator of getting to those planning meetings, so we're up to date on what's going on that side of the equation, that side of the ledger, and reporting it to our fellow commission members. And I'm as guilty or more guilty than anybody, so believe me, I'm not pointing my finger at anybody. But if you can't make a meeting and you're scheduled, let us know, and we'll get somebody to cover for you. We'll get somebody to fill in.
Mr. Chairman, Norm had something to say.
Norm, go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you that they are on schedule for completing the town plan of conservation and development.
Oh, wow.
There's a nice group working on that very hard. So
That's impressive That's
it's pretty
impressive.
much, it's pretty much drafted, and it needs approval of this and that, the final draft approval, and then it goes to the Board of Selectmen.
That's great. I would have thought they would have taken a 3 or 4 month station break on that, but they didn't. They kept at it, and that's to their credit. Wow, that's great. Comments from chairman. I really don't have anything other than it's actually good to see everybody's face again. It's been quite a long time. We haven't had a meeting in months. I don't know that I even consider this a real meeting. It's a meeting, I know. It's on the record, but it would have been my preference for us to meet in person even for tonight, although, you know, I understand that with the agenda that we had tonight, it might have made sense to do it this way as well. But I'm looking forward to meetings in person going forward. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, as Bill indicated. He keeps me apprised of. Maybe on a weekly basis, we touch base, and you know, there are some projects coming down the pipeline, and we're going to need to fasten our seatbelts, and we're going to have some late meetings coming up, I think, if I may say. So with that, I hope everybody's staying safe and enjoying time with their family, because we've done a lot of that, certainly, since dating back to March, and that's pretty much all I have. Enjoy the rest of your summer. We're not going to meet again until, technically it's summer until what, September 21st, but we all think of summer as ending the end of August. I think I've always thought of it that way, but we'll meet again in is it September 1st, I think, right? September 1?
September 3rd, Mr. Chairman.
September 3rd, excuse me.
Meeting went very well.
Meeting went well. Enjoy the rest of August. Try to get to the beach, do something fun, spend some time with your kids. That's all I have.
Mr. Chairman.
I congratulate Jennifer. This is the smoothest Zoom meeting I've been on. And I've been on.
Is that right? Appreciate that. Listen.
Very good, very good.
Jen gets 1,000% of the credit too. Jen, thank you. Thank you.
I didn't say
for me and
anything.
everybody here. No, well, really, you know, you.
If it wasn't for Terry, it would have been perfect.
Oh, come on now. I could keep going if you want. Yeah. I could.
That was funny. All right. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
All those
Second.
in favor? Aye.
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 Signing off. God bless. Good night.
Night.
Enjoy the rest of August. Talk
You
to
as
everybody
well,
soon.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I gotta admit, that went for a Zoom meeting.